guys, and welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Shamika, and welcome back to Speak Freely, here where we celebrate the freedom of speech. And today's topic of conversation is kind of my open Dear John letter to all the atheists out there. So this video may lose me some subscribers. I'm aware of that. I probably do have some atheists who are subscribed to me. I don't have any problems with atheists at all. I don't care if you're atheist. I don't care whatever you believe in. I don't care if you're atheist. I don't care if you're Muslim, as long as you're not radical. I don't care if you're Catholic. I don't care if you're Buddhist. I don't care if you're Hindu. I don't care if you worship cats, dogs, and flowers. I don't care. I don't really care. So I don't have a problem with atheists or atheism. I don't care about it whatsoever. But what I do have a problem is two things. I have a problem with evangelistic atheists, atheists who act religious, but they claim to hate religion. And also, I don't care for atheists who try to debunk, bash, or attack people who are religious or spiritual, but they use the same exact SJW tactics that they hate so much. So before I get further along in this video, again, I am not talking about people who are atheists and they just go on by their lives and they don't feel a need to proclaim their atheism every 2 seconds, or the atheists who, who've done their due diligence and really did a lot of research and have a lot of reasons why they became an atheist. I am just talking about those ones who seem like they got a chip on their shoulder, a stick up their ass, and something to prove. To me, there are atheists who act like militant vegans, who seems a need to constantly proclaim their atheism and tell the whole world they're atheists and wear it on their shirts and wear it on their hats and wear it on their backpacks. And I get it, Christians do it too. They have the little fish shirts and stuff like that, which is fine. I don't have a problem with it. It just seemed like you get upset because you get upset when Christians or Bible thumpers throw their Christianity and throw their religion in your face and feel a need to constantly talk about Jesus and the Bible every 2 seconds. But then you do the same thing. You do the same thing. It's like, okay, I got it, you're an atheist. I don't actually care. I don't know why you think I need to know you're an atheist all the fucking time. But thanks, I guess. But my biggest issue with atheism are those who literally use this exact same SJW tactics that they hate so much. One of the SJW tactics that I feel like atheists use is they bring up the past. And it's the same tactic that a lot of progressive leftist SJWs use, especially when they're trying to talk about the oppression of black and brown people or even the oppression of women. They bring up the past. And for black people, it's always slavery, it's always segregation, the civil rights movement, something like that. They can very rarely pinpoint a really strong argument for the present day, except the imaginary idea of the epidemic of police brutality. But for the most part, they bring up the past. And I feel like a lot of atheists do that. A lot of times when I get in conversations or debates with atheists, they always say well, people have killed in the name of God. There's been wars in the name of God. And I'm like, I don't remember any hangings, burnings, or beheadings in the name of Jesus Christ anytime lately. Yes, in the past, there were wars that was in the name of Christianity or Catholicism. There were kingdoms who went head to head because that one kingdom wanted Christianity to be the religion everyone followed, and another kingdom wanted Catholicism to be the thing that everyone followed. People got beheaded if they were found out not to follow the right religion. People got hung. People got burnt at the stake. That happened all the time back then. But they're acting as if that's a big epidemic now. No one does that. Yeah, you might get a crazy shooter who happened to be Christian, but for the most part, they never really do it in the name of Jesus or the name of Christianity. That might happen to be their background of religious beliefs. But for the most part, I haven't seen that happen anytime lately, so I don't know why people keep bringing that up. That's the past, and that's something that SJWs and progressives do all the time. Let's stick to the present. Let's stick to present day, right here, right here. The other thing I feel like that a lot of atheists do when they're trying to argue against Christianity or religion or anybody who is spiritual is they use their own anecdotal stories to prove a point. They talk about how a nun was mean to them or a pastor touched them inappropriately, or they hated church, or their church was full of hypocritical members, or they come up with some, their own past experience, their own past stories, something that bad happened to them, and the people who did it to them happen to be Christian, or it happened to be done in church. And for that, I say, okay, that's you. That's your personal story, and I'm not trying to take that away from you, but that doesn't mean that's everybody. And I feel like that's the same thing that SJWs use, especially when it comes to black and brown people, or women, or even the LGBTQ. They will come up with their anecdotal story about how once someone called them a nigger, or once some guy groped them at work, or once or twice or 3 times or whatever, and then because of that, they deem all men rapists, or all men horrible, or all white people racist, or all cis straight white male to be evil and Hitler or whatever. They use their own personal stories to then paint everybody in under that umbrella with a giant broad brush. And you can't do that. You can't do it. I mean, you can, but it's illogical. So for me, it's like that's the same SJW tactic that a lot of atheists seem to not like that much. Not all. Some. A lot that I know. A lot that I've seen on YouTube. A lot that I've come in contact in my life or on Twitter. They don't like the SJWs, but then they use the same tactics. And so I just like, you can't paint a broad brush. I'm not religious whatsoever, but I am spiritual. But I used to be religious, and I used to go to church every single Sunday. And I can tell you 99.9% of the people in that church were really good people. The majority of people who are Christians, the majority of people who have any type of religious belief, you wouldn't know it. They go by their own mundane, boring ass lives just like everybody else, and they don't do nothing to nobody. So the idea that you're going out with all this hate and this anger and this giant chip on your shoulder, go to a therapy session and get that chip removed, okay? The point of this video isn't to tell atheists to shut up about their atheism. The point of this video isn't to try to convert anybody or anything like that whatsoever. Again, I don't care if you're an atheist. The point of this video is, can we all just be a little bit more libertarian about this bullshit, and just like don't give a fuck what your neighbors are practicing. If they're praying to whatever God they want to pray to, that really shouldn't be any of your business, and it really shouldn't make you that emotionally upset. Why do you care? Like, honestly, I never really understood, and maybe atheists can answer this question for me. I never understood why atheists get so upset and so emotional when they find out someone else has a faith, And I'm not talking about a Christian or a religious person trying to push their views on them. I have atheist friends, and I remember I was sitting at a table, and I had a really hard childhood. If you want to know, look at my other videos. And someone was asking me, like, how did I get out of that? How did I survive my abuse? And I said a few things, and I think I eventually said, like, oh my God, thank God. Like, I pray and all this stuff. And, like, my friend just flipped out. Like, he just flipped out. Like, oh, why you gotta bring God into this? Like, why can't you just say you did it on your own? Like, this is so stupid. I can't believe you believe in God. Like, just flipped out on me. And I literally was like, giving my nice little story, and I never understood that. And I've had that happen to me before. I never understood that. Like, why is something that you don't believe in whatsoever make you that emotionally upset? If someone wanted to believe in unicorns, I might think it's a little silly, but I'm literally not going to go out of my way to try to prove that person that unicorns don't exist. If that makes you happy to believe in unicorns, believe in unicorns all day fucking day. So I never got why atheists get that emotionally upset over someone else believing in something that they don't believe in. Like, if you don't believe in it, it really should like roll off your shoulder. I only have one friend that I know that's an atheist that always felt like to me, and this is no disrespect to other atheists, but that's the only atheist that I ever met in real life that actually convinced me that he was really an atheist. Because I always felt like if you get that emotional over someone else's belief that has nothing to do with you, there is something else going on. Because why does it affect you that much? It's like when people get really emotional being accused about something, and they're getting emotional because they actually did it. If you didn't actually do it, then you wouldn't get that emotional about it. And so if you don't actually believe in God, then why are you getting that emotional about something you don't believe in? I have one friend that has no problem sitting down and talking to people about their faith and about their religion. He can have, you would almost think that he believed in it too. Like, he'll have a completely decent, calm conversation. And one day I asked him, like, why doesn't he get emotional about it like other atheists that I know? And he was like, why would I get emotional about something I don't believe in? Like, and that made sense to me. Like clicked, and I was like, yeah, I don't know why they get so emotional about it. And in my mind, it's like, I don't know, a priest touched you, a nun slapped you too hard. I don't know what it is, but somehow you took your anger and your pain and resentment and your bitterness and decided like you're gonna just make you an atheist or something. If it's not harming you, if it's not, you know, infringing on your freedoms in any way, I don't really get why people get this emotionally charged about something. Like my ex-boyfriend was, he teeter-tottered between atheism and agnostic, and I don't know, we were sitting down and these like little teenage girls came and handed us a pamphlet about Jesus Christ, and he literally almost flipped the table. I'm like, it's a pamphlet. What the hell? Like, it wasn't even like they handed a pamphlet and then they tried to teach. They literally just walked by and they were going to keep walking, and he literally almost like flipped his lid. And it's like, well, I don't get it. I don't get why people get that upset about something you don't believe in. And I feel like just like white people, Christianity is like one of those last religions that you can like shit all over and nobody cares. And that's another thing. I never really understand why atheists think they're so edgy and like so cool, like so against the grain. They're on the fringes of society. I'm like, you do know that Christianity is like the most popular religion to just crap all over and no one cares. It's just like it's pretty much on par with white people right now in the media. Like, Christianity is very anti-SJW. Christianity is very anti-progressive, very anti-left at the moment. And so you shitting on Christians and you not liking Christianity, join the other half of America. Like, it's not like that big of a deal. It's not that edgy. It's not that fringy. It's not like, it's like you're pretty much just like a lot of other people. So I never really understood like why atheists come off as if like, I'm so cool, I'm so edgy, yeah, look at me, I'm an atheist. It's like, yeah, and so is millions of other people. Like, I don't get it. Like, Christianity is literally the last religion you can literally say so much shit about and nobody's gonna care. I never really got that, like, why they come off like they're like so badass. Okay, sure. Little Timmy down the street is also an atheist. Like, they always say like the same things. Like, oh, so you believe in a giant man in the sky with a beard, huh? That's so stupid. You're so dumb. No, I actually don't believe in that. Oh, so you believe like there's a devil with a pitchfork and he's red and he got horns? You're so stupid. No, I actually don't believe that. Oh, so you believe like there's like a heaven and a hell, and you believe like we all were made out of dirt, and you believe that women were made out of like Adam's ribs? You're so stupid. No, I actually don't believe that. Say the exact same things all the time, and it's like they say it with this like, I'm so cool, I'm gonna show you how dumb you are. I don't know why I'm like imitating like a retarded surfer guy or something, but that's how they come off it to me. It's like, no, I actually don't believe any of the things you just said, but okay. And if you want to know any of my other backgrounds when it comes to spirituality, I'm actually really into science as well. I love science, and I watch a lot of videos and read a lot of literature on quantum physics and stuff like that, like the Fibonacci sequence and just sacred geometry, and I'm just really into science. And I honestly will, if someone says like this is how the universe became, I totally believe it. If the Big Bang Theory is pretty much still a theory, but if the Big Bang Theory is the fact of how the universe became and how the world became, I believe it. I'm a big science person. I'm a big science buff. I love science. That was my favorite class. But I'm still spiritual. And so also the whole misconception that we're all the same, painting everybody with this giant fat ugly brush. It's like, I don't get that. When I was a member of a church, we did this 40-day fast. 40 fucking days. Don't think I would ever do that again in my life. And why did we do this? Were we this insane, stupid, naive, religious bunch? Maybe, but in our hearts we were doing it because we literally wanted to help stop starving children across the world. You know, in Christianity, if you sacrifice something, then God would give you something that you're praying for. And we're all praying for to stop the hunger of children in Africa and all across the world. We did this completely selflessly, and okay, maybe some people wanted some brownie points when they go to heaven, but literally a lot of us did it out of only the goodness of our heart. And no, we didn't just fast and we didn't just pray. My church actually went over to those countries to help feed those kids, to help build shelter, to help the charities over there. And so when I see people bashing Christians and bashing religious people like they're these evil, backwards, like people who want to only just go around converted all like homosexuals into straight people. Like that's not true. Like that's really not the truth. First of all, most religious people just go about their lives and you would never know that they're religious. But a lot of people that are involved in church are actually really good people, and so it makes me cringe a little bit when I see atheists like literally go out of their way to find some Christian person or find some religious person to laugh at them and point at them or mock them. It's like I don't get the point of that. I don't understand what you're getting out of that, but some sick pleasure, which is fine, but to me then it's something deeper than that. It's not that I did my research, I looked into the science, I looked into the literature, I looked into the facts, and I came to the conclusion that there just is no God, there is no creator, it's impossible. I can very much respect that from atheists, and I get that. Again, like I love science so much, but at the same time but at the same time, when someone seems like they put so much emotions into trying to like destroy someone else's faith who has done nothing to them, it's like, is it because you did your research or is it because something happened to you? That's what it comes off to me. And I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying like that's what it feels like to me. Because if it was just based off of science and you really just like, hey, I just don't believe in it, I feel like it wouldn't do anything to you. It would be like me having a friend who believed in unicorns. Like I would think you're kind of nutty, but as long as you're not hurting anybody and you're happy and you're healthy, you know, at least physically, like I'm not gonna go out of the way to destroy something that makes you happy or feel good. And when it comes down to it, if people who are religious or spiritual are wrong about what they believe in, there are literally absolutely no consequences at all. We die and there's nothing, and we're not aware that we were completely wrong the entire time. So if people are having a faith or a religion that makes them happy, makes them feel good, and actually helps them do better, and actually helps them be better people and give back to the world, why are you going out of your way to destroy that for people? Why are you going out of your way to shit all over that? Again, I'm fine with people shitting on people like the Baptist church or people who go out of their way to try to push their religions onto people, but that's not really what I've seen the majority of my life. I've known a lot of atheists, and most atheists what I see that go after religious people is literally people that were kind of like minding their business, and they saw someone pray, or they saw somebody hand somebody a pamphlet or a Bible or something like that, and they were just trying to do what they thought was right. Like, I don't get why you go out of your way to shit all over that if it's literally just a matter of science that brought you to that conclusion, and not your emotions, which is another SJW tactic where they run off of their emotions and their feelings. And then the other thing that I feel like a lot of atheists use that is an SJW tactic is that they pinpoint that one thing, and they make it seem like it's like this giant epidemic that every religious church, synagogue in the world is doing this, which is conversion therapy, which is a horrible thing, and that I'm just so against. But it is dwindling. People are getting educated about the fact that conversion therapy does not work. More advocacy has been coming out, more literature, more education. It's becoming less and less a thing. Does it still exist? Yes, and hopefully someday it's completely non-existent. I mean, I guess like if people want to voluntarily go do conversion therapy, I'm not going to stop you from doing that, but people are like, for instance, children being forced to go to conversion therapy, I think that should be stopped completely. I think it should be actually against the law. People probably would disagree with me with that. Parents should be able to do whatever they want with their kids, but I just think it's horrible. But anyway, that's one of those things people like point out, like, well, they're evil because of conversion therapy. And I feel like it's the same tactic with SJWs use, especially with black and brown people. They use the idea of police brutality, and they make it seem like it's this giant epidemic that every police officer in the world is like literally hunting black people to like shoot them dead, and that's not happening. It happens, but it's like a tiny small percentage. And so I feel like if all the Christians and all the religious people in the whole United States, people who actually are for and practice conversion therapy, I feel like it's a small amount. And so people use that to like wave over all people who go to church as like these evil people. They're so stupid, they should be eradicated. Like, I feel like it's just a small minute. And again, I feel like most people who are religious, who are Christians, who go to church, literally just mind their fucking business and don't bother anybody. Or they use like the Baptist church, that crazy Baptist church that holds signs saying God hate fags and stuff like that. Most Christians don't even like the Baptist church. Like, that's like literally like less than 1% of people who practice their religious faith in America is the Baptist church. Their numbers are extremely dwindling. So people who use like this one thing they can use a wave in your face, like, oh, Christians hold these signs, like, no, that's like a tiny percentage. Again, millions and millions of people have a religious faith who don't do anything to nobody. So again, it's taking this broad brush and just like painting everybody with it. Anyway, that is just my open letter to atheists. If anybody who's an atheist can answer any of my questions that I presented in this video today, please feel free to put in a comment in the comment section below. If you can relate to anything that I said in this video, please also put in a comment in the comment section below. Again, I have nothing against atheism. Don't come after me. This is just my questions. It's just these are thoughts that I've had in my head for a really long time that I never really presented to other atheists because I thought they were going to jump down my throat. So I did it. So I'm doing it in my video because you can't physically jump down my throat in this video. I mean, you can't physically jump down anybody's throat. But anyway, if you want to continue having these discussions with Moa, and I say discussion because I'm open to conversations, I'm open to debate, and I'm open to being wrong, please subscribe. And if you subscribe, hit that bell to get notifications when I do upload. There's a comment in the comment section if you are an atheist. I do want to understand why, because I've had these questions for a really long time. No, I'm open to a conversation here. Anyway, that's it for my video. Thank you, and peace.
Like ashes to the ground, open my feelings, they would drown, but they never did. Ever lived, ebbing and flowing, inhibiting, limited till it broke up and the rain down.